Hello. Assignments form an important part of tracking the progress of students. So here we will demonstrate how to create an assignment in Moodle. So here say add an activity or resource, choose the assignment. So we give some name, suppose say it's a monthly test. So here there are many ways to do that. So you can put questions here itself. Suppose say I just put some questions here. Again I will do some cut and paste. Say one question. I'll put a couple of them more. Say one more and add one more. So we added 3 questions, and there is another way you can put a question paper. You can just add the file here, drag and drop the file here. And then there are certain settings, submission, say online text and file submissions. So here there are many things you have to be a bit careful. Say word limit you can enable. Suppose one should not type say more than 1000 words. And maximum number of the file upload is enabled. So just say only one file or something like that. And see, this is a huge limit, system limit. So one has to be very careful there. Just make a 100 KB limit. So why we are doing this is whatever file submitted by the students, so it becomes part of the course. Actually it's added to the course. So imagine suppose you put a 1 MB limit here and 50 students start submitting say 20 files. So your course size is going to blot into hundreds of megabytes. So and it will become unmanageable. So don't ask students to submit something like a photograph taken using a mobile phone. So that is not going to help. So there are many other settings. So here say feedback comments, we put this annotate PDF here. So that I'll show you how to annotate PDF later. So this settings gradually one can go and learn, and say there's some common module setting which I told you, like if your class having groups, then one has to put the separate groups, otherwise not. So here something like you can say separate groups, and this done. Suppose same course is taught by different teachers, otherwise you don't need it. Okay, save and display this. So our assignment is up there. So now we have to log out because some student has to log in and submit an assignment so that we can evaluate later. So let us allow a student to log in, and so student has been enrolled in this course already. So student comes and see the monthly test thing, and student see the 3 questions here and prepares, suppose say in a add submission. So there are 2 options. Either student can type in all the answers here. So suppose say if students wants to type in all the answers here, so we'll type it there. So this is one possibility. You just ask the student, say here. This is one way. Other way is you ask the students probably, or student decides okay which way. So put a PDF file here. So I'll show that. So just student is uploading a PDF file here, but you watch the size of the PDF file, it is only something like 16 kilobytes. So it's not a big file. So it is basically created using OpenOffice Writer and exporting PDF. So save changes. So student has submitted it and student's job is done. He can always remove submission and edit submission possibilities are there. So we will not go into that detail. So that is done, and some other times, and finally the teacher again comes back to check the assignments. So here only one student, but there may be large number of students. One has to go it one by one. So view all submissions. So here the list will come up here. So you see one here. So you just say grade. So what you see here is the PDF file appears here, and whatever is typed here, that appears here. So suppose a PDF is not submitted, you read this and give a grade accordingly. Okay. And now here some toolbars are supposed to appear, but this window is not wide enough. So I'll just, so you can have these two kinds of views, these combined or this alone. So once I do this alone, I get these views. So you can use these annotation tools, like you can write something or can put some stamps. So if you are doing it in a convention, it's more or less like our conventional way of doing with a pencil, pen and paper. So now what I'll do? So there are two ways. Okay, so I would say if the teacher is old style, maybe above 50, is done like this. Okay, this is correct, and suppose this is wrong, then it is done like this, and say this is correct, but there is some problem here, so this is done. And normally if a teacher has only joined last year, so probably it will be done like this, and say like this, and the last one has some wrong statements like this. And you also have a provision to put, say you can type some comment here. So you can say this is not complete or something, some comment you can add here, and you finally you have given the grade already. So and say save changes. So there is, if there are many, you say show next, like that you go. So this job is done. So we go back to the course, and suppose say the teacher logs out now. Now the student come later on, look for the grades and the results. So what the student is going to see is, goes here, say it's already, everything is there, and the result is coming here, the feedback. So a grade is there, 80, student sees that. Then students can also see this one, the result, what teacher has sent back. Okay, it is here, right? So these are the ways you can do assignments, but be very careful about usage of resources, and do it in text mode. Otherwise, assign these attachments, always try to be minimal, say in kilobytes or something. That's all.